Is your hair good now?
No.
No? Please, everybody, please hold while Amber gets her hair ready.
I'm like, you could tell I've been like doing the most today.
Well, and honestly, I don't think I will. Yeah, I won't argue with that. You probably have done the most today. What'd you do today?
Well, I woke up.
Oh, you woke up like this, huh?
I woke up like this.
Uh-huh.
Literally, my hair was still up from yesterday. And I took her daughter to summer school. And then I drove out to another county, which was about 40 minutes away, just to find out they were closed. This certain business we go to. And then I started laundry and then came straight here. I started laundry, cleaned my car out because I've had things in it for 3 weeks. And I'm still not unpacked from Milwaukee, DC, Detroit, and Canada.
Oh my goodness, you really need to, yeah, you need to take some time and get this stuff done. Happy Friday, Ebog. Hey, Jeff Kuiper, Francisco, good to see you.
Francisco. I love that name.
She loves that name. But yeah, man, it has been a week. So yeah, and I had to give mad props to Amber, Mary Bruce, and Michael. We have been running drills on our content for our second class, and it has gone
Well,
decent.
it's gone well.
Decent.
Decent. Uh huh.
Okay. I
Okay.
don't think we can say well. Um, are you done playing with your hair yet?
No, keep talking. I can do two things at
I
once.
can. I keep looking over and like, dude, does she need help with her hair? Are we having a big emergency here?
No,
Um,
keep doing your thing. You look good.
no, well, thank you. That's why I got a
You got a
haircut today.
haircut. I
I
know.
did. But yeah, so our first class really is, hey, machines broke. What do we do? And people, I think a lot of the techs get kind of belittled a little bit where they're like, "How did you develop this class?" And I'm like, "My son, when he was 12, did this class, but he did it over and over and over. So this
And
time there are
over.
three of you, and I think that at least lightened the load on Michael.
Yeah, and it also helps because you've got more feedback, which is, needed. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, and that's the thing. And that I could I shouldn't say it, but I could put this training center out of business if I could get schools to understand it's not about just presenting the content.
So much more.
It is, it is putting together a storyline like they are right in the plan. I
Hmm.
mean, I forget who it was. Somebody was asking how much time it took to develop a class. How many hours of classroom time versus how many hours of development time. And I ended up posting this picture. If anybody from the '80s, hopefully, you remember Back to the Future,
Hmm.
and so Doc in the first one, he has made a scale version of that town of everything they're doing, and then in the second one, he's made a scale version of how they're going to heist the train and what they're going to do and all that. And that's important. That is more important than knowing the things that people need to know. I mean, you can get
Yeah.
up in front of a group and you can talk, and they're not going to hear a word you say.
Yeah.
And the few that they do hear, they're not they're not listening. They're done.
Mm-mm.
So coming up with, okay, how do I make this so you feel so you can relate to it early? We can all of a sudden be like, oh, this is just like I had, out on the machine last week. That's really the challenge to good training.
It is.
Yeah. So, of course, the first challenge to good training is making sure all the pieces work. And these last few runs have been more of that. And then, but then we've got to, all right, how do we make it where, we, same as our first class, you're going to come in, you're going to be doing this within 15 minutes, but you have an existing machine, you're trying to add an HMI to it. How do you make it feel as much like an existing machine as possible? That's that's a really big challenge. What else did we do this week though? Because I don't think
Changed
I
our
got on that.
background
Oh,
because
what else
last
did we do that
Friday,
was important this week?
that is very important because, yes, it is because last Friday we got on here and we talked about how washed out I was with all the manufacturing gray. And so now we've added a little bit of color to our background and we blacked out the windows, which is even better. But it got hot for you over here today.
No, no, it was just initially. I mean, I asked you which way you wanted to work this. So yeah, we have a black background. We have this background. They both look the same to me.
No, they're totally different. And then we might create another background for like Tim and Amber time. I don't know. We've got a lot of things happening. We've got a lot of things happening. I have not stopped since 3 weeks. I haven't stopped in 3 weeks. 4 weeks. Almost five. 4 weeks. I have not stopped. I have worked and family and worked and family.
Yeah, I've just been hanging out, guys. Just hanging out, throwing some live streams on, dropping a couple videos. That's pretty much all I do.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam. Happy Friday to you. And yeah, if you're in the chat, go ahead and shout out hi there. See, and sir, okay, hold on. Up. Can you shed some more light on systems integration roles? I have interviews in 1 hour as a fresh graduate and postgraduate mechatronics. Well, congratulations.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So, what type of position are you applying for? And for me, the big thing I tell everybody who is just starting out is be honest about what you know and what you don't know.
Yes.
In other words, it's great that you took a PLC programming class. That does not make you a PLC programmer.
Yes.
You have some experience in PLC programming. Maybe you have an interest in PLC programming. But yeah, mostly be honest with them. And, it's something I'm working on with a lot of employers is them realizing, hey, when somebody comes fresh out of school, you still got to give them some training.
You
It's,
do. You can't expect them to go from, I guess, a technical school university book hands-on training to real life experience, like just drop them in there, which I mean, sometimes that can help too, but you still got to be able to mentor them and train them. And it's a lot. Hey, Alan from Los Angeles, California.
And Sergio, hi to you.
Hey.
The other thing about that is I love the mechatronics curriculum because it's kind of the way, well, there you go. It's kind of the way I came into this. I have a mechanical background. Most people don't know that. I started out mechanical and really had zero interest in computers. But the only downside to the mechatronics program is I think now some employers are thinking, well, I can hire one person and they'll be able to do it all. And it's like, nah, that isn't exactly what that means. But it does mean that they'll be versed enough that, okay, somebody's going to call out because, you know, the machine isn't working right. Well, put the controls guy out there and let them figure it out. And all right, you need 3,000 psi. I don't know, just throwing numbers out there. And you only have 2,800 psi. Well, if somebody has no clue how hydraulic systems work, then they're just gonna be like, well, I mean, the PLC's doing what it's supposed to do. I don't know what else to do. That's the advantage of having somebody that's in mechatronics is they should have enough broad knowledge to be able to have an understanding of that stuff. Now, still, even then, you're going to end up in some specialty eventually.
I agree. My team has several interns, always excited to have a fresh idea from new engineers. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, and I think too many times, well, and we do. Engineers are not supposed to make a lot of mistakes, especially when it starts to get costly. But they need to have a safe place as an intern to figure out. Okay, yes, my instructor taught me about tolerances and clearances the first week, and I didn't know why. And let them try to put two pieces of their exact same size together, and let them figure out. Oh, that's why we have these things.
Thank you so much. Lots of love to you guys. You're welcome. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Tell us how it goes. We'd love to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said that, like, I made your story video last week, and I will say is, especially when you're coming fresh out of school, find that company that is going to want to soak you up just as much as you soaking them up. Like they want to be, I want them to be a sponge to you as they are a sponge to, to you, or vice versa. Because I do have respect for engineers or industrial manufacturing technicians that have been in this field for years, but I also have so much respect for somebody that's just get coming into it. And if you put those two worlds together, I mean, the sky's the limit because you can learn from each other.
Yep. And also, the one thing to not worry about, well, don't get me wrong, I'm sure you have some bills to pay. You just got a degree, but the highest paying place may not be the best place.
That's true.
And I think we get caught up so much in the dollars and cents, or especially I'll say more. I don't know. I think this generation coming up has it down better.
Hmm.
As okay, yeah, pay is important. You got to pay some bills, but also, how much time do you have off? What if you do get married and then there's a kid on the way? Are you going to be able to spend time? Is there, oh man, why is my mind going blank? What do you call it when you get off after a baby?
Like
Maternity
family,
leave.
yeah, maternity
Is
leave
there a
or
family
family
leave or
leave.
maternity
Yeah,
leave? Insurance, 401k. So there's a lot of other little pieces to this.
I know it.
Yeah. I mean, is it like nose to the grindstone for, why am I getting weather updates
Update.
all?
I like your computer. That's so weird.
Well, guys, yeah, if you want to know the latest weather, don't come here. But yeah, I'm gonna say no thanks to that. But yeah, why do we have to do that? I know, Gary, I guess I'm getting old and just set my ways. Why do we got to put the weather on the computer? I can go watch the Weather Channel.
I know. Like when I go to visit certain people who will remain nameless, the Weather Channel's always on in the background. It's like, oh my God.
24/7 of
24.
weather.
Oh, lots of.
Go for it, Amber.
So Sam says it is starting in PLC just for younger people. I have a background in maintenance and control and electrical troubleshooting with certifications in electromechanical and starting to learn now.
Absolutely not. There if you want to know, you're never too old to learn something new. And with your background, PLCs are a very natural transition. And if I can get this, in fact, I'm gonna drop a link here. This is a good lesson series to kind of start with. One, because it uses the free, man, my computer.
Low internet,
Yeah,
don't
we
we?
do. We got some slow internet going on.
We're not. It's probably because we got a weather alert. Maybe there's a storm coming in town.
Let's see. Sale. Check out this lesson series. This lesson series right here uses the free connected components workbench, has a small simulator in it. Now, you're not going really in depth with the simulator, but it'll let you kind of play around and see if you're really interested in learning. I think I spend more time talking people out of buying our stuff than we do selling.
Nah.
But here's my
Because we
thing.
just want to. Our goal is to see you succeed. I said that yesterday in my live podcast.
Well, and the thing is, maybe PLCs are few, maybe they're not. But I have too many people reach out to me like, hey, I want to learn PLCs. And my next question always is, okay, that's cool. Why? They look fun. Like, all right, but fun's gonna wear off,
Yeah.
so that's why I always throw this one out there. But if you find you're like, yeah, I really do want to learn it, then we could talk about some hardware that may help you out. And yeah, yeah, there's absolutely you're in a perfect position to learn PLCs.
Alan says, how was your experience your first 3 years of PLC programming? Did you have a mentor? I will answer that because our first 3 years was.
Wait, our first we weren't married yet when I had my first 3 years.
I'm coming from my experience.
I did have a life before Amber. It may not have been a great life, guys, but I had a life before Amber.
My first 3 years, I was raising babies while Tim was out there doing the thing. But as Tim said, he does have experience, so I will let you add on to that.
So no, I had zero experience. I had zero instruction. I had zero mentor, really. Uh, I grew up with a mechanical background. I grew up in a machine shop, and then they needed somebody to do controls, and we didn't have anybody. And I always tell people, it was my father's machine shop, and you can never pass your parent. You can never pass somebody at their experience level. And he had 32 years experience on me. I cannot gain 32 years experience except in 32 years. And so it was an opportunity for me to kind of kick out into another lane and do something, contribute something somewhere that he couldn't. And I would I grabbed at the time you had the physical manual, you had the programming manual, and you had the reference set for RS Logix 500. And I carried those in along with this had DeviceNet on it, and I guess I probably grabbed the hardware manuals for the Slick 500. And I went in at nights to this plant. And this was a really complicated build. In fact, I've done a critique of this build. Why did you? I should have closed that window because
I
apparently I'm
know.
going to need
You
this
just need
window.
it open and just like
Um,
do all
oh, I
the
closed it because our internet was choking. But so I went in at nights so nobody would know that I didn't know how to program, and it just kind of clicked with me. But I needed a mentor desperately because there's a lot of little, and as I get older, there's a lot of psychological pieces to this or mental
Mhm.
pieces to this
Mhm.
um, that really I don't think they teach you in school,
Right.
and we really need to talk. Well, I think in general, mental health is something we need to talk about.
Mhm.
As we go out there and we magically fix stuff, and we can really get a God complex really easily.
Mhm.
But when we're making changes, especially life changes, I mean, we are one mistake away from critically injuring someone or killing someone, and those are that's something that's not talked about. We kind of act like as long as you do everything right, then nothing will happen. But bad things happen.
They
They're
do.
hard to recover from.
Hey Finn, we love you too.
Let's see, first program. But here I actually critiqued my very first program. So here, this is my very first PLC program. It was complicated. First PLC program.
I couldn't imagine anything being complicated for you.
Oh, damn, she can see me on the screen. It's not marriage, but yes. Oh, where are we at even up here? Let's see. Oh, we went through SAM surgery. I've had classes in servo motors, motion machine replacing pneumatic cylinders. Sergio, what's your question? Let's see. Oh, just in general, I need to do more on servo motors. And servos are expensive to play with. And Amber has me on a budget, whether you believe it or not. We have a lot of cool equipment,
Not true. We
but
have
yeah,
a lot of fun toys.
yes, but and
That help you. Not, I mean, they're not
they help
like,
us.
well, yeah,
I,
but
I've been playing all week.
yeah. Okay.
Now, I say I'm playing, but that is, I don't think you ever quit learning. I don't think you ever quit practicing this. And technicians come in and they have questions, and I know I don't act like I know it all. If you ever come here, it's all well. Let's figure out how to do this. But then sometimes I'm like, man, I would like to be able to deliver that better next time. And so I spend a lot of time in the off weeks trying to work out how to do these things. Let's see. Did we get Alan? Where are we at, Amber?
Yes, we did.
Oh, that was the first 3
Huh?
years. Hi, Finn. We probably already got Finn. Yeah, I'm
Uh-huh.
not really good at keeping track of this chat.
That's why I'm here.
Amber is the keeper of time and the keeper of time for very reason. Let's see. I already have purchased Micrologix 1400 and have a licensed micro starter light. Okay, well we have. I don't know if you seen our lesson series on it, because it's an older one, but it's just as good. Man, our internet is like, well,
Lagging.
it could, honestly, it could be our website. That's just as bad, but
I know. We made some, well, we've been making, well, so we're updating some things. We've
well,
up,
go ahead. What are we updating, Amber? I mean, no things. We
we
got stuff we're
got
doing on.
stuff. So we have updated some of a lab that's being one of the things. Like I said earlier, we have the gray washes me out. I don't love it. So uh red, funny story, red. My mother used to put me in red sweaters and black stirrup pants, and if there's any women on here, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But because I wore red all the time, I got the nickname Ladybug from all my friends from school. And so, anyway, red does well for me. So we picked that. And also, we have the red wall. I'm probably sure you've seen that in Tim's videos from times past. We've
You want a
been
red wall.
because you wouldn't let me paint it.
Amber's like, I want to paint the whole place before we get started. I mean, guys, first of all, we signed the lease on this place the week before COVID broke out. And Amber's like, yeah, I want to paint everything. I'm like, no, we're going to manage to get some tables in here and some trainers built. And if we're going to see if this works. So I let her go buy a pint of paint to touch up some of the spots on the gray wall.
And that's driving me crazy because I can see nobody else can see it, but I can see like I'm looking at it right now. I can see it. Now I wanted to put warm colors in here, but this is not my home, although I spend more time here than my home. And really talking to other individuals when it comes down to it, the gray is industry color. Like everything we have around here is industry color, which is great. And it's clean in here. It's really clean. But yeah, so we updated that. We've been practicing going through, what are we calling it? Part two? I
Yeah, I
guess.
mean, right now it's part two. Guys, we need some names. We have not good at
Yeah.
naming stuff. We can think for a long time about stuff. Is one thing we
We
do.
have our troubleshooting class now that helps you.
Well, I mean, even our machine trainer. I mean, and I guess really that was it. And initially on the drawing board, it was to simulate a machine. We could surely come up with a better name, but we never have. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it does. But no, our first class is about if it's broke, what do you do? The second class is how do we prevent it
Breaking.
or let people know that it's broke instead of us having to do all this stuff.
So preventative and we've done an idea board where we're trying to with Mary Bruce and we're trying to come up with names and we're just getting to the point now that our brains hurt. They literally hurt after, coming back from a major trade show and then Tim had a class the right after we got back from traveling. Don't do that. Stop doing that. And because it's draining.
No, it wasn't for me. I was fine.
And then we went into practicing or just like trying to go through for part two of our class or our next class, which is in the works and we're very excited about it. But yeah, we've done quite a bit this week, past 3 weeks.
Ben, I don't know of a good place to learn structured text. I started to make a structured text series, and golly, you want to talk about hostility out of you guys. And I don't just mean you guys. Hopefully it wasn't any of you, but I even because I was trying to work out, okay, because honestly, I do that a lot. Okay, you want to know how to do it, Finn? I actually take programs we already have that already exist, already work, a lot of them, especially if they're ones that we use at the training center, and I'll just start writing them in structured text. That so I can figure out how to do the different
Mm-hmm.
things. And so I would get to something, and I would look at it and be like, man, this just seems like the most complicated way to do it. And then I'm like, man, it just seems like it should be easier. And so I would post about it. And all I did was get reamed from people like, why are you writing things in structured text? And it's like at the beginning, I even said, I'm practicing structured text so I can get better at it. And I mean, it's just like, oh man, I only get reamed so much. So I actually put that whole structured text programming series on the back burner. But I might get back on it because I think it's an important one to learn for a couple of reasons. One, the more languages we know, the better troubleshooters we are.
Mm-hmm.
We have a structured text exercise that we go through in the class, and a function block diagram exercise. And I always say the big reason I go through those is I think they make us better ladder logic troubleshooters.
Very good.
Mhm.
I put my IO mapping from IO module to the local variable using ST.
Yeah, I mean, and those are, and people always hate to hear this, but structured text is the most efficient way to write a program. And usually everybody hears that they're like, no, it's not. But yeah, I mean, we can write software to write structured text programs. We can do. I mean, you can use Excel and easily make structured text programs. There's lots of things you can do, and yeah, it and it. We're also getting a lot of people coming in from the software engineering sector, and they write in a more structured text type format. So it's the one that they're gravitating towards.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say anywhere in there that we should all switch to structured text, but we need to understand it.
It's like understanding other cultures.
Mm-hmm.
That is part of this culture. So,
And okay, Coaster BP talking about culture, there's a good example. You will not find too much ladder logic in Europe.
hmm
It's mostly function block diagram, and yeah, that there's backing it up with structured text. And honestly, I think with a few tweaks, we could Studio 5000 function block diagrams could be really easy to follow. But yeah, I don't know that that'll ever happen.
you're talking a lot.
I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna bow out.
Yeah.
No, what you got, Amber?
You said I'm supposed to tell you when you're talking a lot.
I was answering what people were saying. Why didn't you answer them?
Yesterday in a live podcast, and you guys
Where?
yesterday
Huh,
here.
where? What podcast? I,
I was getting to it.
I mean,
If you would
start
stop
start with
talking,
start with the heavy part.
if you would stop
What
talking and
podcast were
stop
you on?
interrupting me, then I could get through
What podcast
this.
were you on?
So yesterday I did a live podcast here at our lab with automation ladies. So if you
Automation ladies. I should drop a link to that, shouldn't I?
I'm just gonna be quiet and let you take it from here.
Why?
Because you see, because you're interrupting.
Well, no, I was just trying to stress the automation ladies part. Yeah.
I don't even remember my thought now, and it was really good. Anyway, so me got to do a podcast by myself with Ali G and our friend Courtney Fernandez, and it was amazing. But one of the things I said on the podcast yesterday is Tim's brain is like the Matrix. Like I can't decode it, I can't figure it out. And I know that he's working it. Oh no. Ugh, what is going on? Must be a thunderstorm. Everything's choking up. Nope, I'm done. Go ahead.
You're done.
Mhm.
What else did you talk about on automation ladies?
I talked about my story and how I got into this industry. I didn't have a choice. I married into it. And I talked about our children. Our son, Michael, will be going to Finland in less than 2 months. He leaves at the first week of August, and we're very excited for him. I talked about our ALP2s and our IPEs, our classes, and how many hats I wear depending on the day. Sometimes it's an all day mom hat, sometimes it's a mom hat, a wife hat, a business owner hat. So,
And and I don't give her nearly enough props on that. Shifting gears on stuff like that is very difficult. Because yes, she does. She's building products, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, time to go pick up the daughter, and okay, you know, they she needs to go do something to for school or whatever, and then she's running doing that, and I'm looking around like, what are they doing? Are they just out riding her kid and get her back here,
long time.
and so and then you got to pick up and figure out where were you when you left here, and that's probably for all small business, but yeah, especially the parenting part is when you have to switch gears really big. It's
And fast, yeah. Thank you. Michael is very excited. He'll be gone for 10 months. So mommy's starting to feel it a little bit, but also very excited. He is going to do a vlog while he's over there. Hopefully drops it once a week or maybe every other week, but Tim is putting their link down in the chat so you can follow our kids because they're doing amazing things too. Our daughter is thinking about also studying abroad as when Michael gets back. So he'll get back and then she'll probably leave, but we're very proud of them. And I said yesterday when I was on the call, like when Tim and I started the business, we knew that we wanted to be very immersed into our children's lives and very consistent, very constant. And them as teenagers now, Michael's 16, Wendell is almost 15. They are, I wouldn't say they're our best friends, but because we've immersed ourselves in their lives, I think it helped we have a very close bond with our children.
Yes, I would completely agree. I mean, they've been a part of this business. I mean, and it's not just that they were hanging out at our feet. I mean,
Michael tore apart things and
yeah,
put them back
and I
together.
mean, if I need something drawn now, it's like, hey, Michael, can you draw
I
this? And Wendell
know.
was in there, putting clips in for ALP2s, our analog simulator, and that's so. I don't know. I enjoy that part. I am gonna super miss him.
I
But
know.
yeah.
Who are you going to get to draw things for you now?
Does anybody out there know how to draw something? Can you teach me how to draw things?
Because what does he draw? What software is he drawing
I can draw on anything.
anything? Because
Yeah.
he knows CAD, he knows.
Fusion 360, Inventor. He can draw in SketchUp, although he looks down on SketchUp.
But yeah, so that's, in between, like even practicing for this next class, I've had to leave in the middle of it and go pick up our daughter and then come back and try to pick up where they have continued on. And
And actually, I will give you props for that. That's really difficult to do because when you're when you're looking at we're going through exercise. These are not easy exercises. She leaves, and while she's gone, I throw enough in there. There's nothing graphically pleasing, but I make sure that when she gets back, everything is functionally there. And it's difficult, even as us, if we leave for the day and second shift takes over on something we're doing, we come back and it's like, all right, what did they do here?
I know.
You have done
I
very
thought
good.
about that because when I left yesterday, I started thinking about that on the way home or on the way back here. I was like, I wonder because one of the local companies, their shifts were changing.
Hmm.
And so I thought about that, like how is that relationship between the shift changes? Like, how do you leave it for the next person? Can they read what you did versus what they want to do? It's nuts.
And some places do it better than others. Some places it's like that horn goes off and yeah, it's just like drop everything and we're gone.
Yeah.
Some places are decent about some type of shift overlap. And some places just make you stay forever,
Hmm.
and probably none of them are that great. But
Joshua Gordon, I'm a controls tech without a proper electrical license. Do you think future employers would support me to get one? Will I be restricted without one if I wanted to work across the world? That's a great
it is a great question.
question.
So, and that actually, I really like that. I like the way you worded that question because this is something that probably isn't talked about enough. I am a licensed master electrician. I am licensed by the state of Virginia as that. And so that doesn't mean I can go around the world and do this stuff.
Hmm.
And mainly, it also doesn't mean I know the regulations around the world. I don't even know for sure that there's a lot of local regulations here that I don't know. If I go to North Carolina, I don't know. If I even go to Texas,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I have a love hate relationship with any type of certification, license, anything like that because some of them are good. Now, I'll tell you that my master electrician's exam was the most difficult test I've ever taken. It absolutely was. And I will never, ever let that thing lapse just because I never want to take that test again. Yeah, one day, if we hang this up, I might be a grumpy old electrician and just go around, being grouchy and complaining and charging way too much money. And that's cool. Um, does it hold you back? The biggest thing that I did before I had my license, the biggest thing that I didn't do a lot of, and also even now I won't really do, is the actual power installation wiring.
Mm.
And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, there's people out there that do that all day, every.
On YouTube, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So we're really running out of topics, but we keep reverting back to what we've already done. We need to expand on that.
No, there's plenty more topics. I think that'll hiccup if I hit this disconnect. I think that's what's causing this.
Oh
It's all right.
no. Okay.
Um, we'll give Michael the stats later. And he'll tell us what
Yeah,
else.
he'll tell us what's wrong.
We'll just keep on getting it. Where were we at, Amber?
So under guaranteed fixed, I am an electrical engineer and I live in Ontario. Is there any chance I can take a course and learn lessons from you guys regarding PLCs and VFDs when it comes to the basics of troubleshooting?
Um, troubleshooting is one that's really difficult to do online. I will tell you, trust me. I mean,
It's really
peop
hands-on.
people always are asking me, "Can I zoom into your class?" And it's like, what are you going to do? What exactly are you hoping for? A part of me, I wouldn't mind doing a film crew and like trying to make a reality thing. Have the text that we just go in the other room, have them interview. Man, that one was tough.
I know.
I just really didn't. I thought I had the problem solved. The next thing I knew, I hit that. It's all about how do you put the person in the environment that they actually are going to have.
Mm-hmm.
We are. I don't know. This is really getting annoying with all these pop-ups here.
I know it.
No, I really want to hit the disconnect button on this, guys. If all of a sudden we disconnect, I'm just gonna say whoopsies.
And we'll come right back.
But oh no, look, it figured it out. It figured it out itself. I think it was like, peace out. This is just not working. Oh no. Let's see what we got going on here.
See, now we are troubleshooting our live stream.
That's right. And if Michael was here, it would already be done.
Yep.
It did. It finally kicked us off the internet. Oh, not the internet. Off of the in fact, I'm just going to disable the Wi-Fi. That way, it doesn't even kick back on. But I think for some reason it kept popping over to the Wi-Fi. Actually, I need Josh Vargas on that because up until recently you couldn't be connected to both at the same time, and so apparently we're having an issue. Josh, why are you not on my live
I
stream?
know, because you're going to have to back us up when Michael leaves.
I know. Who? That's gonna get tough then.
Okay. Also depends. So Alfredo says also depends on what kind of PLC you need help with.
Yeah, and the one advice I'll give there is choose one.
Mm-hmm.
Only one. And I have this conversation with instructors all the time. They're like, well, we're trying to cover everything that workforce needs. So we're looking for one Allen Bradley trainer. We need one Siemens trainer. We need one Mitsubishi trainer. We need one Automation Direct trainer. And about the time I just stop, I'm like, okay, but what do you want to actually teach them?
Right.
They're like, well, we need to teach them those, in that case, I think it was start for whatever. And I'm like, you can't. You teach them the basics. You get them to understand the fundamentals of one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if every day you're working with a different software, that's half the learning curve. So get them to get really in-depth knowledge about the one, and then it's easy to bounce over to another one.
Yeah. Carlos, what is the toughest projects you guys faced in automation? I mean.
Oh, as I say, yeah, raising a family that's definitely tougher than any automation project that I think have ever had. Toughest is such a difficult word because toughest,
We've also learned from them, though.
well, and is it toughest financially, toughest failure, toughest,
Mentally.
one that you thought you would not get through, or hey, let's go for it, one that failed,
Oh,
never got
yeah.
off the ground. Those, the toughest. There's a lot of them out there.
I just wish everybody understood failing is important.
Yeah,
It is so important. One thing, when you fail, yes, I mean that's a little bit of humility, and you get a little humble about it, and it does mentally mess with you. But you're learning what not to do or what to do on your next project.
yeah. And going back to interns, that's probably interns and mentorships. That's where really we all need to step up the game on.
Yes.
It's because I mean your first true project failure is tough to recover from.
Yes.
And I almost left the industry over mine, and really spent a long time thinking that okay, I wasn't that good of it. I must not really be cut out for this industry,
Mm-hmm.
and I was not ready. There, number one, yes, I was not ready, but it was mechanically poorly designed. The project was um, was coordinated horribly. I mean, everything that could go wrong does go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, the guy behind the computer is like the guy behind the curtain of the Wizard of Oz. Just magically, everybody thinks he can do everything,
Mm-hmm.
and there are limitations to what you can make work with a computer.
Yes. I don't think you ever have like the perfect project. There's always,
It's
even
always
if
going
it's
to get
just,
better.
yeah, just
And
these tiny little things. There's always something you can do better.
well, and that's, we've been working with a group, and uh, we're all kind of looking, and some of us are here, some of us are here, some of us are here, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'll never get to there." I'm like, "It's not a race against to get there. It's a race to do a little better than you did the previous time." And really, that's the way we've worked projects. One guy I used to work with, I really enjoyed, because one, we were traveling places, so there was always a drive back every time,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd get on these drive backs, and we'd be talking just about, okay, what went well on that, what do we hope we never do again? And those are important things that we don't do. And there's too many companies out there. And don't get me wrong, we got to sell. You know, you do have to sell the next project. But as soon as you get that final 10%, we're looking at the next project. And
Yeah.
it's like, hey, why don't we talk about some of the things that went bad? Because so many places where I've worked at, it's the same problem over and over. And they're like surprised every time. And I'm like, guys, we've done nothing to change this, so why would we get a different result?
Yeah. Terrible. But yeah, mentors are definitely needed more than ever right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Doing
I was working in a steel mill called Tree Island Wire. Fun. However, they moved back to Canada. Now I'm working as a ride mechanic at an amusement park.
well,
What?
lots you can. I tell you what, amusement parks may be one of the best places you can go,
Oh.
because now, unless you're like, now I'm talking this like I really, have a lot of experience in amusement parks, but especially your smaller amusement parks, you end up with products that are built all over the place. And so you can get a ton of real world experience working somewhere at an amusement, like an amusement park, because yeah, so much variety of equipment, so much variety of age of equipment.
Oh, yeah.
So you probably have equipment there that may be from the 60s, or same technology. It hasn't changed any. Really, it's a start stop button. We know it wears out every so often. That's cool. But still, when it's not working, you can get under, you can learn, about relay logic and kind of what's going on in that thing.
That just sounds fun.
Now,
That just sounds
but fun's a fun. Here's a good example. I
fun
bet you.
is
I
a
bet you. If
finite
young, I bet it's
resource.
not that fun every day. Fun is a finite resource, but you can learn so much, because you do have those old machines that are really basic. But I've worked with some pretty large, or worked on some pretty large systems that are coming out of the amusement park industry here at our training. And you get into the safety aspects of those, you can
Yeah.
learn everything you want to learn about safety and everything also. So it's amazing just how much there is out there on that.
Oh, yeah. Raising family is tougher. You program PLC output to energize, it will do. You tell your kids asleep. Not that easy, daddy, mommy.
No, no, they are slightly unpredictable. Yeah, what is it? You usually call that was a glitch somewhere in the program. There's a lot of glitches in raising kids. They kind of have their own mind, which is cool.
So Young also says, sounds like I need a plane ticket. I learned about you guys and your channel while I was in school, and I'm still a big supporter. I wish there was some way that I can actually learn from you hands on. And Carla, thank you, Carlos, for talking about our class. But yes, we do have a class here in Roanoke, Virginia. It's 5 days intense. You should tell them an email, and you guys get a conversation started.
Yeah, and we have online classes too, so you can also learn through those. Some water. You keep going, Amber. You're doing great.
I'm doing great. And Young, you should look in the comments also. Alfredo says, what amusement park? I too want to know that as well. I'll go get you water.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. What is it in November? IAPA.
Oh, IAPA.
Is that how you say it? IAAPAA, I think.
IAPA.
IAPA. It sounds like a really fun thing. There's an amusement park show that apparently is all about almost buying amusement park
Yeah.
rides. I don't know any of this, but
Well, it's like
but
a trade show for amusement parks. So it's about buying amusement park rides. It's about how they work. It's also related to safety. It's gonna be
But yeah, it's
And
fun. And I mean, we've all been there. You end up, you're like, oh man, there's a control panel over there. Oh man, look at those sensors. I've always wanted to work with one of those. I wonder if I can find the maintenance person around here. And it's like everybody else is just wanting ice cream, and I'm like,
I
anybody see it over there? Hey, there's a guy on the golf cart. Let's get him.
every time, like even if we go to our local fair or whatnot, and the kids are on the ride, we're sitting there looking at how it's running, and I'm sure people are looking at us like, "Why aren't you watching your kids?" I'm like, I don't. I would much rather know how it's working. There you go.
You think one day I would have like the common links just ready to go, but I never do. All of a sudden, it's like,
It always changes. It always changes. You know. Wow, that was a lot.
that was a lot. What else did we do this week? I'm trying to think.
Um, I have no idea.
Went to a car show last week.
I did. I went to a car show with my uncle Saturday. I got to drive my uncle's 99 Ford Cobra Mustang. That was exciting. My son took video of that. It's been 3 years since I've driven a stick shift, so our last car, the clutch was very simple. You just barely had to tap it in and change the gears. But with this 99 Mustang, the clutch was it was difficult. And then my other uncle drove his 67, I think it's a 67 Firebird, which is beautiful. That I learned stories on that car. That car has been passed through the family many times. Did not know that. I thought he just bought it, but nope. And my uncle had his other car, which was a Ford Thunderbird of 2002, which he let our son drive. So it was a big moment. We had a good time. Lots of great vehicles. Suburbans are in hot demand right now. We watched a show on it preparing for my son and I to go to this car show, and Suburbans are very hot right now, and the girl, the girl who won the trophy had a Chevelle, and she did all of it on her own by hand. It was beautiful. It started off with this light pink, and then it got darker as it went back. She sewed the interior herself. She configured the engine herself, everything. She replaced everything herself, and she ended up winning. It was a beautiful moment. There was a lot of women who won. I loved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, a lot has happened. Because I was actually texting a friend earlier, and I just really need a day to stare at a wall because I have been absolutely nonstop for a month now. I don't think I've had a Saturday at home with you where we've drank coffee in the morning.
Doesn't seem like it.
Mm-mm. And we have date day on Saturday.
I know. We got date day tomorrow. That's exciting.
That is
Oh,
exciting.
yeah, that'll be fun.
That will be fun. But then again, fun is a
Well, we don't do date day every day for that reason. See, there's a good example. Don't if you think it's fun, do it. You can do it once a week. But yeah, if we did that every day, then well, we'd be broke. We couldn't do it every day, and you get tired of me.
if I got tired of you, I don't think we would be able to run a business together. I never get tired of you. I even said, and I hope you guys check out that live podcast from yesterday. I even said in the podcast, even though that we're together 24/7, I still can't get enough of him.
Oh my goodness, it's getting deep in here, guys.
No, just being honest.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it, and we're right at the end of our time.
Yeah.
So, Carlos, what's it say there?
Keep each other happy so we can still have this amazing content. Have 3 date nights a week.
3 day nights a week. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
But
He's eaten out a lot this past week because we've worked late, and I told him, I said, I need a home cooked meal tonight. I'm gonna have to go home and cook because I cannot keep going out. But yes, we love doing this, and we're thinking about doing some other things. We've had a lot of conversations with people over the past year that have said, "Oh, it'd be nice if you had your own reality TV show so we could see like behind the scenes because, we only see you on YouTube or on social media."
No, we are not doing a reality show. That
No.
is not on the thing because that's a little too much acting. But we are going to talk a lot more about what reality is like. It's not a
Yeah.
reality show, but yeah, I'm looking over here and honestly, I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't have manuals for next week's training. Where are they? So all of a sudden it's like, ah,
I
we're
need to
running
go. Yeah, I need
around.
to go get those. So,
And but
yeah.
so there's always I think we we put on a little too much illusion sometimes that, oh yeah, this is so easy.
Oh, we're so happy.
You put a program in a PLC, it magically works, and yeah, life is good and we go on to the next one. But that's not really how it works, and even running a business not how it works. Yeah, so apparently we are not ready for next week's class. Got to finish putting a robot back together here.
And vacuum the
Which yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, and vacuum the floor. Oh, that is so we're gonna share more of that side of, what all it does it take to do all these things. When you get up in the morning, yeah, it's great. Yeah, we sit here and drink our cup of coffee, but yeah, the other hand, sitting there making a list of everything that's got to be done before lunchtime.
Yeah, we're just gonna be real. Just
Yeah.
be real with y'all. And happy Father's Day to you guys out there. Thanks for being dads. We really appreciate you.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.